today we are going to demonstrate how to do some different cooking methods on our campfire. So I'm going to make my lunch. We are going to be boiling our Kelly kettle to make me a nice lovely mint tea. We are going to be frying my banana protein pancakes with egg, topped with some roasted apple and cinnamon. And for my first course I'm going to toast myself a cheese toastie. Can't wait. So my fire's been burning here for a good half an hour now and the bigger logs have started to ember up. This is the perfect stage to start thinking about your cooking. The worst thing you can do is start cooking too soon because the flame is way too big and way too hot, and basically the outside of your food will burn and the inside of your food will be uncooked. This is very important, especially for food hygiene purposes. So things like meat, you've got to be very careful that you actually have the fire at the correct temperature. When you need to boil water, you need to make sure that you have enough embers to keep that water actually boiling. And it's all about thinking about the safety of the children, making sure you're not giving them anything that could make them ill. Safety in the space, exactly the same as every campfire. Make sure that everybody is aware of the fire circle, that everybody knows that is the danger zone, and that the children understand and the learners understand that they must keep in their designated area and not come within the fire circle at any point during the cooking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just check my fire. So I have there now quite a lot of embers burning. I'm going to add my Kelly kettle. So when you use a Kelly kettle, you do not put the cork in. That's very important because that could cause a lot of issues with scalding. So in my Kelly kettle, I have got some water, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some fresh mint that I picked from my garden this morning into the kettle. It smells amazing. So I'm just going to add that in, and as that Kelly kettle boils, the mint will infuse with the water, making me a nice mint tea. So looking at the campfire, I'm going to look for a quite hot spot on here because the water will need to boil. Making sure again my cork is out of the way. So I'm going to place my Kelly kettle just at the edge like so. And that will now then boil up and that will create my nice infused mint tea. Okay, moving on, I'm going to start looking at my apple. So, for my apple, clean hands, clean chopping board, clean scraper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel and chop my apple and place it into my foil before I add it to the fire. So to the left of me I've got a pot, and in that pot that's where all my rubbish is going to be placed, because you've got to think about what you leave at the end of a campfire. You can't have any food waste or any foil or anything left within the woodlands area. You need to make sure you take everything with you. In fact, think of that, I wish I'd left the skin off. But I'll know that for next time, because the skin does look quite delicious. So I'm just going to chop using a vegetable knife. The apple off and place it into my foil like so. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a tiny bit of cinnamon and just sprinkle that on the top, and then I'm going to secure my foil I'm going to wrap my apple into my foil, and then I'm going to choose another place. Just put my gloves on so I'm near the heat. on the campfire, and I'm going to place that there like so. So that is my apple now under the hot embers, and that will be roasting away whilst I put on my toasty and make my banana pancake. So toasting. So here I've got my metal toaster, which I'm going to place my bread and cheese inside before I add to the campfire. So here I've just got a couple of slices of bread. I'm just going to get my cheese, place my cheese on the top. Put my waste into my waste box. And my other slice of bread on the top like so. And that is going to be placed onto the edge of the fire. Make sure my handle is hanging over, and that will need to be turned every couple of minutes. Right, frying. Love banana pancakes. They are my absolute favourite. I have them every week at home. So I need one ripe banana, peeled, waste in my box. And then we have here my fork, which I'm just going to mash my banana in my jug. So it's nice and mushy. And then we have our eggs. So 2 eggs. And always remember to wipe your hands after touching raw egg. That is a food hygiene rule. As you can see here, I've got my burns kit in my water as well, just in case I need it for my campfire. So I mix my eggs and my banana together in my jug. And then what I need to do is I need to place my skillet on here. Now the skillet has got some coconut oil in. Love coconut oil, and it makes the pancakes taste amazing. So I'm just going to place that onto the top of the fire like so, and let the skillet melt the oil. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to flip my toasty around the other way. Check my kettle. That's looking good. Just going to flip my apple. Spread the oil around a little bit just so it covers the bottom of the pan using my spatula. The toast is looking good there. I'm just going to move my Kelly kettle onto the hotter embers just to let that boil and take effect. However, make sure the cork is not in the top. Okay, favourite part, banana pancakes. Now these bananas are quite ripe, so they may not keep the pancake together, but that's fine as long as it's cooked. That's the most important part. So taking my egg and banana, just very, very carefully. Place the pancake into the pan, and that is already frying away nicely. When I'm next to the campfire, always make sure you've got one knee down, one knee up so you don't fall into the fire. I'm just going to check my toast because this shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to flip that around onto the opposite side. Because I'm doing 4 methods at a time, I'm constantly thinking about in my head what I need to check next. So the Kelly kettle, I can already see steam's coming through that, which is great. The toasty maker is probably ready to be checked in the next minute once I flip this pancake. And I'm just going to turn my apple. So it's all about thinking of the timings, thinking about the cooking methods that you're doing all at once, whilst following your food safety rules as well. Okay, so this looks like it's ready to be flipped. Smells amazing. Right, whilst that's cooking on the opposite side, I'm just going to turn my apple. And then check my toasty. That's looking really, really good. So the toasting, that'll be ready to come off in the next couple of minutes. Got to check my kettle. Yep, that's still boiling, but not quite there yet. I can smell the mint though, it smells lovely. It's coming through the kettle, the top. One thing I would say, if you are cooking in the woodland, don't just cook anything you find. You've got to make sure that you understand what it is you're cooking, especially with like mushrooms and things. Don't just forage and cook and see what happens. It's really important that you understand the fungi that you're actually putting into your recipes. Right, I'm going to take this off now. So as you can see there, my toasty is done. I'm going to place that onto my cooking stone so that it doesn't burn any of the wood on the benches. I've just realised I haven't brought any honey. Oh, that would have been the thing I would have topped my pancake with, but that's fine. We're still frying the pancake and roasting the apple. But I do like honey. But these skillets are amazing. You can cook absolutely everything on these. Really versatile and very, very tough wearing. Right, whilst that's finishing off, you can see now that my Kelly kettle has completely boiled. I can see the bubbles inside. They're bubbling away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the Kelly kettle off the heat. I'm going to pop that onto my cooking stone again. I'm going to give it a minute before I put the stopper on, just because of the pressure of the steam. My pancake has fallen apart a bit, but that's fine. It still smells amazing. It looks delicious. I'm going to get myself a plate. Okay, I'm going to place this skillet on my stone again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my apple off and just check my apple. Make sure that it's nicely roasted. Oh, it's amazing. looks amazing. Don't at this point start prodding things just to make sure they're cooked, because that's obviously a hazard. It will burn if it's really, really hot. I'm just going to put that back on for a few more minutes because it's slightly, could do with a couple more moments while I set everything else up. Right, so the first thing I'm going to take out is my cheese toastie. Opening the lid, I'm just going to put my top on my Kelly kettle. So warn the children, you know, cheese is hot, be very careful with the cheese. Get my cup for my tea. That down to one side now because that has actually cooled. So when we pour tea from a kettle, we always pour it away from ourselves, never towards ourselves, because we are working with hot water. Oh, the colour of that is unreal. Oh, lovely. I can smell the mint in that. It's really, really nice. Okay, finishing off with my pancake. Again, if you have fried anything like meat or anything, that could be a hazard. You've got to make sure you check the temperatures, make sure everything's cooked through correctly before you serve. Finish off with my pancake. I'm going to add a bit of lemon. Let's put my fire gloves back on. My roasted apple. I'm going to leave my fire gloves on until I actually open this. It's very hot from underneath. Got my roasted apple on top. Right, so there we have a boiled mint tea using the Kelly kettle. My lovely cheese, I wish I'd added more things, cheese toasted sandwich. And for my dessert, I have got a fried banana pancake with roasted apple and a squirt of fresh lemon. Now all these are cooked and everything is all ready to eat. After you've ate your meal and you've put out your fire, like all of the times, make sure that everything you have used, everything is taken away from the space. There's no hazards in place, all the logs are put back that you haven't used, and everything is ready for the next person. And always bear in mind food hygiene. Make sure everyone's hands are clean, make sure everybody's ready to eat and there's no allergies. That's also very important. Understand your children, what they're actually allowed to eat as well. Always check. Thank you very much.